Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Fola. In today's tutorial, we're going to look at some essential measurements that you can easily get by doing some calculations without taking them directly on the body. Before we get right into it, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please do that now. Click on that subscribe button down below and subscribe. Also turn on the post notification bell. That bell beside the subscribe button, tap on it and turn it on so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Thank you. So without further ado, let's get started. The first measurement we are going to look at is the bust span. The bust span is also known as nipple to nipple. That is the measurement from one nipple point to another. So how do you get your bust span? It is calculated as your bust circumference, that is the horizontal measurement of your bust, divided by 8 minus 1 times 2. Let's say, for example, we have a bust, want to work with a bust circumference of 40 inches. So that would be 40 divided by 8 minus 1 times 2. Now 40 divided by 8 is 5. So 5 minus 1 times 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 inches, that is 4 times 2, which gives us 8 inches. So the bust span or nipple to nipple measurement for a bust 40 is 8 inches. Now, when you are cutting it on your fabric, you know it will be on fold in this manner. Your fabric will be on fold. So by the time you want to measure it, you measure 4 inches. And I would advise you add ½ inch to it when you are cutting directly on your fabric. So by the time you have 8 inches for the bust span and you want to cut it out on your fabric on fold, it will be 4½ inches. The next measurement we are looking at is half of armhole. How do you get your armhole measurements without measuring directly on the body? So to get half of your armhole, you are still going to make use of your bust circumference measurement divided by 6 plus 1½ inches. 1½ inches is also 1.5 inches. So here I will make use of a bust circumference of 38 inches. 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Now 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches gives us 7.83, which is also 778 inches. 778 inches on your measuring tape. Now I have a detailed video on how to read your measuring tape, the decimal aspects, the fraction aspects, everything. I have a detailed video on that, and the link to that video is in the description box below. So when you have something like this, a figure like this as your measurement, you don't need to approximate because it might affect your outfits or your calculation or the measurements you are working with. So you don't have to approximate. Once you know how to read your tape measure perfectly, you are good to go. So this is how to get your armhole measurement. Now the next measurement you are going to look at is the calf height. That is the sleeve calf height. Now the calf height of a body is from the shoulder tip to the underarm line. And what does this do? What does this calf height do on the sleeve? It gives the sleeve some ease, you know, around the underarm and also the sleeves. It enables you to raise your hand freely. You don't have any discomforts at your shoulder to your underarm. So how do you calculate that without directly taking the measurement on the body? It is gotten by using your bust circumference measurement as well, divided by 12 plus ½ inch. Let's say we are working with a bust circumference of 36 inches. So 36 inches divided by 12 plus half inch. Half inch is also 0.5 or 0.5 as the case may be. So half 1/2 is also 0.5. It's the same thing. So 36 divided by 12 is 3 plus 0.5. We have 3.5. So the cap height of bust 36 will be 3.5. This is when you measure when you are cutting out your sleeve from the shoulder tip to the underarm line is your cap height. So this is how you get the measurement. Now the next measurement is A line. How do you get your A line measurement? How do you determine the amount of inches, the amount of measurement you had to your A line, be it a short gown or a long gown? So let's start with the long A-line gown. Now when you are cutting your A-line gown, your fabric will also be unfold in this manner. Let me use this. Unfold like this to cut your A-line. By the time you input your measurements, and I also have detailed videos on that. So to get your A-line gown for a long gown, you should add a minimum of 6 inches to quarter of your hip measurement. Now, quarter of your hip measurement is your hip circumference measurement divided by 4. When you divide your hip measurement by 4, then you add a minimum of 6 inches. When I say minimum, you can add more than that. It depends on how big or how voluminous you want the lower part to be. And it also depends on the amount of fabric you are working with. So when you have a hip circumference of 36 and quarter of 36, when you divide that by 4 is 9, and you want to cut an A-line gown, a long gown, what you have to do is to add a minimum of 6 inches to these 9 inches. So when you add 6 to 9, that gives you 15. So by the time you are folding your fabric in this manner, you are going to use 15 inches to fold your fabric. Do you understand it now? Because the lower part, you want it to be wide enough. Then you can use 7, you can use 8, just like I said. It depends on the amount of fabric you are working with or how wide you want the lower part to be. But the minimum you can add is 6 inches for a long gown. Now for a short A-line gown, the minimum you can add is 3 inches to 4 inches to quarter of your hip measurement. Now let's work with this hip measurement as well. Let's say quarter of the hip measurement we have here is 9 plus 3 inches or 4 inches. So it also depends, but since it's a short gown, 3 inches is fine. So 9 plus 3, that is 12 inches. So by the time you are folding your fabric like this into 2, you are folding it using 12 inches in like manner. Can you see it? So this will determine the amount of volume, the amount of wideness you have at the lower part of your A-line gown. We still have a lot, but this is how we are going to be looking at in today's video. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section below. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do that now. Subscribe, share, and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.